Hello and welcome to episode 147 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is be careful who you model. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the term by the big man himself, Tony Robbins, that you should model people to achieve success. And I completely agree. There is nothing better than modeling somebody who's achieved a level of success that you want to achieve, right? It would be silly for you to want to open a cafe and not talk to a person who runs a successful cafe, right? It would be silly for you to start a big company, right? Electrical company, and you didn't find the most successful electrical company around. So to model, it just wouldn't make sense. That's the most fastest, that's the most proven system, because you're literally taking what works and going with it. Now, the problem with modeling people inside of the online space is that you and I both know that there are a lot of people who talk a big game, or who can talk about achieving a level of success, but there's nothing really to back them up. And look, today's not really going and having a dig at those guys, but more importantly, it's how you can avoid that trap. A lot of times I get trainers and coaches coming to me when something goes wrong. They go, Lynn, well, I had a business coach. This is what happened. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you do a little bit of your homework? Did you find out what they did? Did you have a look at their results? Did you see that they were delivering their results? And why? Even, not every single person is going to get results, but you need to understand why they didn't get results with that person. Were they not a great fit? And so why I'm bringing this up to you today is really how you can start modeling people, and not even pay for mentors, in fact, just modeling people who have achieved the level of success that you want to achieve. Okay, and here's the reality. The reality of this is, if you don't want to spend 7 years on YouTube putting out content every single day and being creative, then don't model people who have put out content for 7 years. While that's a great strategy, you might be starting out as a coach right at this very moment in time. And if you are listening to somebody who has built their company by growing it, by spending 10 years on content and strategy, that's okay. That you're going to go down that path naturally. People can only show you what they've done. So what I suggest to you is that naturally you're here because you want faster growth, and that's okay too, because everybody wants to grow faster. Nobody wants to be doing work and not reap the rewards. So there are a lot of people inside of the space following people who have 1 million followers. Right, that is for one, but you have to ask the question. Number two is, what are they currently doing with their 1 million followers? How are they generating income? Do they have a growth strategy, or did they jump on a wave when it was hot and now it's going down and now they show you and teach you how to do it? That's first and foremost. And here's the reality. If you're trying to follow other trainers online, okay, and they look like they're crushing it, really think deeper, really go deeper into that thought. For me, right at this very moment in time, I'm alluding to the fact that the people that you should be modeling are people who were just like you, right, who didn't find a trend, who were part of the norm. They weren't the exception, okay? When you're part of the norm and right, you're just a trainer and you're starting out and right, how to grow, how to get clients, then those are the people that I would be modeling. And how do you find those people then? You're probably thinking, right? And I get it. The best way to find these people is have a look at who is advertising on Facebook consistently, who is advertising on Instagram consistently, and advertising and generating leads, doing what you want to do. If you're seeing their face all over the place, I would start modeling them. And you want to know why? Because if they are consistently advertising and spending money on Facebook, money on Instagram, it means they must be making money. And I need to underline, I can't underline because I'm speaking, but I need you to really take in and put into bold, consistent, and consistently advertising. Not a guy that just advertised once, but a guy who's consistently putting his money or her money on the line, right, to generate clients, to market, and then to convert those clients, because he or she has the system. Of course, if this wasn't working, he wasn't making money, you'd turn off your ad straight away. How many times have you launched an ad campaign and basically when it started working, you like shit your pants and you're like, money's lost, and turn off the ads, right? I want you to think for a moment, if that was the case, people were putting their money on the line and money was lost, that he or she would not be spending on advertising. So my thing to you today is to really model people who have achieved what you want to achieve, given that they've been in the circumstances that you are. Not the circumstances where they found YouTube in 2002 and they were able to build and grow a wave. Because if you start YouTube now, it's quite difficult. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means you need to change your expectations to set up for another 10 years. And that's okay if you want that. If that's the thing that you want to model, that's cool. But if you're expecting fast growth from modeling someone who's been YouTubing for 10 years, you're not going to get the success that you hope for. If you're modeling fast growth from a guy who has grown his Instagram and now Instagram isn't making him money because organic traffic isn't the way to go, that's probably not going to work. If you model somebody who consistently was just like you, started out like you 3 years ago, decided to learn marketing and sales and turn prospects from Facebook ads, from YouTube ads, from Instagram ads into new clients, and he's done that successfully again, he's advertising, that's probably the guy that you would model. That's what I would model. Essentially all this advice I'm giving you is what I do, right? So at the end of the day, that's an important thing that I want you to understand. Don't be silly, because I know you're not, because you're here. But I don't want you to be silly and just take things and assume that people are successful when there is a deeper level, a deeper layer that you've yet to explore before you start modeling them. And with that being said, my friends, I am off. I'm off to speak at one of my friends' mastermind events today, which is why I'm doing this podcast a little bit early, but I'm off. I'll be tuning in, and if you're tuning in for this, then on Friday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, I'll be talking to Russell Brunson more on this, and I'm sure we'll be putting the podcast episode up in here. But if you want to check it out live, then head over to my page. I believe it is I'm Lin Trin or Coach Lin, whatever it is. Just find me on Facebook and subscribe and get the reminders there. And it's going to be an absolute blast. Hope you have a fantastic day.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.